The sun had barely begun its descent into the golden savannah horizon when a scream, sharp and desperate, tore through the silence like a blade. It was the kind of scream that made time pause, that made birds still mid-flight and turned every head in the village toward the golden dust rising in the distance. It came from the edge of the village, where the fields ended and the wild began. A place where innocence brushed shoulders with danger. 10-year-old Lily lay sprawled on the cracked earth, her yellow dress torn at the sleeves and stained with streaks of blood and dust. Her face was marked by scratches, her wide, terrified eyes locked onto the impossible creature before her. Just feet away, a fully grown male lion stood, its enormous body tensed, its mane rippling like fire in the wind. Its eyes were molten gold, but there was no mercy in them, only hunger and rage. A low, thunderous growl echoed from deep within its chest, reverberating through the air like an ominous drumbeat. The ground beneath Lily's trembling palms seemed to pulse with each step the lion took forward. The air felt heavier, harder to breathe. She was paralyzed, not just from fear, but from the realization that death stood before her, and there was nowhere to run. The lion hadn't wandered from curiosity. It wasn't a guardian of the jungle. It was a rogue cast out from its pride, hardened by hunger, and dangerously unpredictable. It had been stalking the outskirts for days, watching. And now, it had chosen its target. But before we take you deeper into this true and harrowing journey of courage and love, we ask you if you believe in the unbreakable bond between humans and animals, if you believe in second chances, sacrifice, and the kind of loyalty that brings tears to your eyes. Please like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with others, and subscribe to Pawsitive Tales. Let's spread stories that matter. Lily hadn't meant to wander far. It was her daily routine, a brief escape into a world only she and her imagination inhabited. A place beneath the ancient acacia tree where she could feel the breeze, watch the birds, sketch in the dirt, and let her spirit soar beyond the hardships she carried. Orphaned at the age of 6 and raised by her aging grandmother, Lily had known more pain than most children her age. Yet she never lost her gentle heart. Her world was harsh. Their village, located near the edge of a national park in East Africa, lived in constant tension between man and wilderness. But for Lily, the most constant, comforting part of her life wasn't a person, it was Rex, a retired military German shepherd. Years ago, an American soldier had brought Rex during a relief mission. The dog had served loyally in war zones but had grown old and weary. When the mission ended, the soldier, touched by the resilience of the villagers, gifted Rex to the village chief. At first, Rex was aloof, battle-worn and distant. But when he saw Lily, something changed. Maybe it was her eyes, or maybe he saw in her a fragility he recognized in himself. From that day forward, Rex was hers, and she was his. He followed her everywhere, slept at her doorstep, and barked at anything that came too close. He had become her shadow, her silent guardian. But on this fateful afternoon, as the sun dipped lower and shadows stretched across the savannah, Rex had chased after a scent, perhaps a rabbit, or maybe a snake. For just a moment, Lily was alone. And that's all it took. The lion struck like lightning. The villagers, occupied with preparing for dusk, didn't see it coming. But the scream they heard, that was unmistakable. As the lion lowered its body, ready to pounce, time slowed. Lily's heart beat against her ribs like a drum. Her limbs refused to move. Dust kicked up around her as the lion inched forward. Then, a roar of a different kind echoed across the plain. A bark, raw and fierce, split the air. From beyond the brush came a blur of fur and fury. Rex. He bolted toward them like a missile, his powerful body charging with every ounce of energy he had left in his aging frame. His harness clinked with each stride, his eyes blazing with a single purpose: protect Lily. The lion turned just as Rex leaped between them. Without hesitation, Rex lunged upward, clamping his jaws down on the lion's muzzle with staggering force. The lion roared, not out of dominance, but in surprise and pain. The savannah exploded with violence. Rex wasn't just fighting. He was defying. Defying nature, defying odds, defying fear itself. The lion swiped with its massive paw, slashing Rex across the side. Blood flew. But Rex didn't retreat. He dug in deeper, growling with the voice of every soldier he'd ever served beside, every child he'd ever protected. The villagers arrived just as the battle reached its peak. What they saw left them speechless. A dog, a soldier long past his prime, standing like a wall between death and a little girl. Rex was bleeding, his side torn, his breathing labored. Yet he stood, growling, shaking, ready to die for her. And then, slowly, the lion backed off. It wasn't fear of injury, it was confusion. The dog simply refused to give up. It limped away, growling in defeat, vanishing into the golden haze. Rex, victorious yet shattered, took a single step, then collapsed. The chief himself dropped to his knees beside Lily, who was now sobbing uncontrollably, her arms wrapped around Rex's limp body. She whispered his name over and over, willing him to wake up. Her tears soaked his fur, her voice breaking with every breath. "Please, Rex, please stay, you can't leave me too." Wrapped in a hand-woven blanket, Rex was carried back to the village like a fallen warrior. The healer, a wise, old woman with eyes that had seen too much pain, worked all through the night. She stitched the wounds, applied ancient balms, and lit a candle that she vowed would not go out until Rex opened his eyes again. Lily never left his side. She curled up beside him on the dirt floor, her tiny hands resting on his chest, counting every breath. Villagers brought food, prayers, and flowers. No one spoke above a whisper. Even the dogs in the village were silent. 3 days passed. Each morning, Lily would wake with hope, only to find Rex still. Until the 4th morning. A bark, faint, hoarse, but real, echoed through the hut. Rex lifted his head. The entire village erupted. Children danced, drums were beaten, and the healer wept. Lily laughed through her tears, hugging Rex with all the strength in her body. He was weak, yes, but alive. That evening, under the same acacia tree where the horror began, the villagers gathered. A wooden monument was raised in Rex's honor, carved with the words, "The dog who defied a lion, for love." A wreath of fresh marigolds was laid at its base. Rex lived for several more years. He and Lily became inseparable legends. Their story traveled far across oceans, through news cameras and school assemblies, into homes where children learned what courage truly meant. Lily grew older, stronger, wiser. Inspired by Rex's sacrifice, she founded a rescue shelter for retired military and police dogs. Rex's Haven, she named it. And every dog she saved, every child she protected, was a continuation of the legacy born that day under the setting sun. If this story touched your heart, if Rex's courage reminded you of the depth to which animals can love, protect, and heal us, please, like this video, comment your thoughts, and share it with someone who needs a little faith in this world. And don't forget to subscribe to Pawsitive Tales, because the world needs more stories that make us feel, remember, and hope. Special request, in the comments, write "Thank you, Rex" to honor the hero who didn't just protect a life, but showed us what it truly means to give one.